And, of course, Joe Mixon plays his first game since the tape of his crime of hitting a young woman in Norman. I don't want to call it domestic abuse because they were not in a relationship. This was just man hitting woman. Woman pushing or hitting man, man hitting woman, and he was later charged with the crime. So he sat out a year, was suspended for an entire season. The video comes out a couple of weeks ago. Joe Mixon speaks to the media. Bob Stoops speaks to the media and said, hey, maybe it wasn't a firm enough punishment. During the game, Brent Musburger said that he, among other things, wished him well at the next level. Eventually, we wish him a long, successful career, wish him a career in the NFL. Social media said he was not obtuse. Social media said he was tone deaf. Tone deaf, right? Brent Musburger responded in the second half. Quote, apparently some people are very upset when I wish this man well at the next level. Let me make something perfectly clear. What he did with that young lady was brutal, uncalled for, and he apologized. He was tearful. He got a second chance. He got a second chance from Bob Stoops. I happen to pull for people with a second chances, okay? Let me make absolutely clear, I hope he has a wonderful career and he teaches people with that brutal, violent video, okay? 2nd down and 9. Good for you, Brent. Now, Brent, of course, is a guy who's gotten his own second chance since his Brent Musburger 1.0 came to an end at CBS. He moved on to ESPN. And frankly, this is probably Brent Musburger 3.0 since he used to call the biggest games. Now they have Chris Fowler, who, of course, has hosted College Game Day. Musburger's right, and social media is wrong. And here's what's at issue with it. Nowhere in his first nor his second statement did he say what Joe Mixon has done is okay. And we get so far afield, we don't even realize Brent Musburger had nothing to do with the level of punishment that Oklahoma or the Norman Police Department decided to hand down. $100 community service. But Brent Musburger becomes the bad guy because he, like all play-by-play guys, simply wishes the kid well. What's he supposed to say? I hope Joe Mixon burns in hell. I hope he tears his ACL. Like, what's the matter with you people? The problem is not all of us. The problem is with you, and this includes my media brethren. What is he supposed to say? Why wouldn't you want somebody to turn their life around? Are you rooting against Steve Sarkisian, who was not violent towards women or men, but did show up drunk to work when he's at USC, and now he's calling plays a year and a half later, less than a year, about a year and a couple weeks later. He's calling plays for Alabama in the national championship game. I wish him well. What is with this double and triple jeopardy? What's wrong inside the souls of men and women that they wish people who have done harm to others, but have served whatever punishment was deemed fit at the time and have tried to improve themselves? What's the matter with you? So this is what I find with social media. This is what I find. That anytime you're doing a game and you heap praise on one side, you're a hater for the other. Brent Musburger is not even an analyst, although he does provide some analysis specifically of what Vegas thinks. And generally, play-by-play guys always try and leave things on the positive side. Guy blows the game-winning kick. The play-by-play guy says he's just a kid. Hopefully he comes back and he gets over it. Granted, no women are hurt during the time during a missed kick. But I don't know what more you want. Why? What is our vengeance? Auburn fans cheering he hits women. Like, look, again, it's not wrong, but at what point do you start to realize that Joe Mixon served a game suspension? And this is where I continue to say that for Joe Mixon to play at Oklahoma and possibly come back another year, Samaje Perine declared for the NFL draft earlier today, I actually think that's more bold and harder to do than had he transferred to an Alabama State, a Florida International, or a Utah State even. There, he's the didn't you used to be Joe Mixon. Now he's the Joe Mixon with a scarlet letter, which is fine. He hit a woman who broke her face in 4 places. It was a brutal video. I probably would not have kept him on the team, but I also understand there are more factors at work than just, do you get rid of a kid? Because if you get rid of him, now you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater, if you will. You're not using college to teach, to rehabilitate, and give a kid a second chance. I am the product of a second chance. And granted, I differentiate because my crime was nonviolent. It was stupid. Nonviolent. But this cheering against people who are trying to make good in their life because you assume that they have black hearts only shows what's inside your soul. What did you hope for Brent to say? I hope he gets hurt. I hope he gets tackled in the backfield. I hope he never plays football again. Why? Why? Why would you want somebody to become a statistic of, the recidivist rate? You guys know what the recidivist rate is? Recidivist rate is the percentage of people who get locked up, who come back to prison after they get, or jail after they get released from jail. Like, why would you want the recidivist rate to grow? The worst people are the ones who are I believe in Jesus, and Jesus died for our sins. And then they say, it's not his sin. Hypocritical much? So I think it's awful what Joe Mixon did. But I've also never been black, never been 18, walk into a restaurant where somebody intoxicated and somebody said an N-bomb, and then I overreact. And I can tell you that staying and trying to change the narrative of who you are and what you are is a lot harder than running from what you've done. And he didn't run from what he's done. So, yeah, I hope he has a really good NFL career.